Hey there, I'm Elizabeth Ricci, immigration attorney with Ramban and Ritchie in Tallahassee, Florida. Today, I'm going to give you a summary of the U.S. Citizenship Act, also known as the Biden Immigration Bill. I'm only going to be summarizing for you what I think is important for my particular clients and community. The summary alone is over 30 pages, so I'm really just focusing on some points that I think are of interest to my particular clients. You can certainly take a look at what was introduced in the House last week. It is identical to what's going to be coming out in the Senate this week, but I'm going to be going over just what I think is particularly important for my clients and community. Let's start out with the term alien. It's going to be done away with and replaced with the word non citizen. I think that's more consistent with American values. Section 1101 will grant lawful prospective immigrant status. A new section is going to be added to the Immigration and Nationality Act, which would allow, provided that criminal and security background checks and fees were paid and an application made for this lawful prospective immigration status. Spouses and children will not have to apply separately. It will be valid for a period of 6 years and extended for an additional six. A card will be issued. Those who are LPIs will not be eligible for Affordable Care Act benefits or tax credits. LPIs will be employment authorized. They will be authorized to travel outside of the country for no more than 180 days in a calendar year. They will get Social Security numbers, and they will be allowed to join our military. LPIs will be able to adjust to lawful permanent status, green card, if they meet certain requirements, background check, pay fees, do the application, have been an LPI for 5 years, remain eligible for LPI status. In other words, we're not out, for example, for more than that 180 days in a 1 year period, has not been absent for more than 180 days. The grounds of inadmissibility under Section 212 that were previously waived will not apply. That's huge. All federal taxes must be paid. It will provide for Section 1103, the DREAM Act. LPR status or permanent residency, the green card, may be granted to a non citizen if they satisfy the eligibility requirements, including background checks and paying fees, submits an application, were younger than 18 when entered the country, has a high school diploma, a GED, or a college degree, and registered for the Selective Service if necessary. Spouses and children of people eligible to adjust status under the DREAM Act will also be able to adjust. The American Promises Act, this section provides for the adjustment of TPS holders. A new section will be added that will allow temporary protective status holders to become green card holders if they pass the criminal background check, pay fees, submit an application, were physically present in the U.S. since January 1st, 2017, and their spouses and children are also eligible. Agricultural Workers Adjustment Act will also be included. In other words, certain farm workers will be able to get permanent resident status regardless of their previous undocumented state. Next, general provisions relating to adjustment, Section 1106. Grounds for ineligibility, in other words, who will not be eligible to get an immigration benefit? Certain criminals. I'm talking about those with felony convictions or three or more misdemeanors, excluding the possession of marijuana. Threats to national security, those who have smuggled non citizens, draft dodgers, international child abductors, those who renounced U.S. citizenship for the purposes of avoiding paying taxes. There are going to be waivers for humanitarian reasons available. Something else that's neat in this section 1201 will revive the V visa, which was for people who were here and filed for something before December 21st, 2000. This one is huge because right now, if you have something that's been sealed or expunged, it does count for immigration purposes. Section 1202, expungement and sentencing. The definition of conviction for immigration purposes is changed to no longer include any adjudication or judgment of guilt that has been dismissed, expunged, deferred, annulled, invalidated, withheld, or vacated. Petty offenses, section 1203, will allow for 2 crimes if the maximum penalty for each did not exceed 1 year and the non-citizen was not sentenced in either to more than 180 days. Modifications to naturalization, section 1206, will reduce from 5 to 3 years the residence requirement for those lawful permanent residents who, for at least 3 years prior to application, were both lawfully present and eligible for employment authorization. I'm not going to go into detail on section 2, which is about addressing the root causes for immigration. I'm really today talking about some of the practical things that my clients and my community want to be looking out for that this Biden immigration bill provides for. Let's move to Title 3, reform of the immigrant visa system. It will promote family reunification. It will recapture immigrant visas lost to bureaucratic delay. It will reclassify spouses and minor children of lawful permanent residents to immediate. Currently, that's only for spouses and children of U.S. citizens. Section 1309 will include permanent partners. Who's a permanent partner? It's any person 18 or older who's in a committed, intimate relationship with another individual 18 or older in which both parties intend a lifelong commitment, is financially interdependent with such other individual, is not married or in a permanent relationship with anyone else, is unable to marry in their home country, is not a first, second, or third degree blood relative. That's interesting. Okay, moving on, addressing visa backlog, section 3402. That's something critical. We have a tremendous backlog, especially in what I mostly do, the EB1 and EB2 for Chinese and Indian nationals. So that's going to be eliminated. We're also going to see the elimination of employment-based per country caps, section 3403. 3405, on the other hand, because this is not opening the borders, this is not an amnesty. Under 3405, the Department of Homeland Security and Department of Labor may establish a procedure to temporarily limit EB2 and EB3s in geographic areas or labor market sectors with high levels of unemployment. In other words, areas that have high levels of unemployment, I am guessing that level is going to be 125% or more above the national average, will not be able to file EB2 or 3. Next, 3408. F1 students will be able to have dual intent if enrolled in a full-time course of study. In other words, an F1 who maybe has an EB1 or EB2 pending with that I-485, they are not going to be precluded from doing that. An F1 would not be in contradiction by having a green card package simultaneous with that F. So that's good news for those Fs who want to pursue permanent status here. H4 program under section 3409. H4 children may extend their status beyond 6 years if the parent is maintaining his or her status and the child was younger than 18 when first granted the non-immigrant status. All H4s and children are eligible for EAD cards under this new section 214S, EAD employment authorization document. Okay, what else? Section 3511, naturalization for certain U.S. high school graduates. A new INA Section 321 waives the English and civics history requirements for people who have completed grades 9 through 12 and graduated with a high school diploma. Okay, much needed Section 4102 is going to eliminate immigration court backlogs. You've heard the expression, justice delayed is justice denied. Right now, immigration courts are backlogged 1, 2, 3, 4, even 5 years. Section 4103, improved training for immigration judges and members of the Board of Immigration Appeals. I will leave that one at that. Next, 4304 will grant employment authorizations to U and T visa applicants. So the U is for victims of crime, the T is for trafficking victims. Right now, those are taking 5 or more years. Under this proposal, they will get the work authorization no later than 180 days after filing. Section 4305 allows for alternatives to expensive detention like supervision and other options. My understanding is much of that will be organized and monitored by nonprofits. This one, I'm embarrassed that we even need to have a section on it. Notification of proceedings, Section 4306. The DHS must notify both the non-citizen and the non-citizen's lawyer if there's a change in the place or time of removal proceedings. You can guess why that's in there. Another section, it's 4307, which will allow Iraqi and Afghani special immigrant petitions to continue until the numerical limit is reached. That is for those men and women in Iraq and Afghanistan who acted as translators for our military and basically put their lives at risk. They've been in limbo for years, so there's some protection for them in there. Section 5105. Why do we even need this? Prohibition on discrimination based on national origin or citizenship status. So that was already law. This is just going to bump that up. Section 5106 is the last one I want to talk about for today, fairness for farm workers. A new section will be added to the Fair Labor Standards Act that no employer shall employ any employee in agriculture who in any work week is engaged in commerce for a work week that is longer than 55 hours as of next year, 50 hours as of 2023, and 45 hours in 2024. So those are what I think are the most salient parts of the U.S. Citizenship Act, also known as the Biden Immigration Bill. Again, this was put in the House last week. It's going to come up in the Senate this week. It's going to be identical as far as language. 2021 is going to be a very interesting year that hopefully will help a lot of people, but will also serve as a way to remove those who have serious criminal histories and are a threat to our security. It should be very helpful to our economy and our families. Let's see where this bill goes. If you have questions about it, feel free to give us a call, 850-224-4529. If you would like me and or my partner to come out and visit your church or your civic organization, we can do something via Zoom. We can do something with our mobile office, or after the pandemic, hopefully that soon we'll be able to come to your group in person and answer questions. But right now, this is what we know, and we hope that it's helpful to you, your family, and your business. Thank you so much for watching.